Two cars parked side by side, same exact air conditioner, same brutal summer afternoon. One of them is blowing ice cold in under a minute. The other one is still pushing out warm, sticky air 5 minutes later while the driver sits there peeling their shirt off the seat and wondering if their AC is dying. Here's the crazy part. The difference isn't the car. It isn't the year, the brand, or how much refrigerant is in it. It's 7 little tricks that almost nobody uses, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know every single one. Do yourself one favor before we start, tap subscribe. This is where I hand you the money-saving car fixes shops hope you never learn, and it takes 1 second. Now let's get into it. Here's my promise to you. Every one of these 7 tricks costs you nothing. No parts, no shop visit, no tools, no special skills. They work on any car with air conditioning, whether it's a brand new truck fresh off the lot or a 15-year-old sedan with 200,000 miles on it. And number 7, the last one, is the trick professional drivers and detailers use to cool a blazing hot car twice as fast, and I would bet money you've never done it once in your entire life. So stick around all the way to the end for that one, because it's the best of the bunch. Let me start with a trick that matters most, because if you only do one single thing from this entire video, make it this one. Trick number 1, blast the hot air out before you ever try to cool it down. Think about what's actually happening when you climb into a car that's been baking in a parking lot all day. The air trapped inside can hit 140, even 160 degrees. I've measured it with a thermometer. It's genuinely like opening an oven door. Now, what does almost every single person on earth do? They jump in, slam the door shut behind them, and immediately crank the AC to full blast. And then they just sit there, marinating, waiting. Here's the problem. You just sealed yourself inside a box full of superheated air and asked your air conditioner to cool all of it at once. That's the hardest possible job you can give it, and it takes forever. So here's what you do instead. Before you turn the AC on at all, before you even think about it, roll your windows down, all of them if you can. Start driving and let that trapped oven air pour out for the first 30 seconds to a minute. Moving air flushes the heat out fast, far faster than your AC ever could. Once the air inside feels close to the temperature of the air outside, then you roll the windows up and switch the AC on. You've just handed your air conditioner a dramatically easier job, and it'll blow cold in a fraction of the time. That one habit, all by itself, will change your summer. I had a neighbor who was convinced his AC was broken and about to spend money on it. Turned out he was just sealing all that heat in every day. This one trick fixed it, which leads us straight into trick number 2. And this is the one that 99% of drivers get completely backwards. Fresh air first, then recirculation. Your air conditioner has 2 modes, and there's a button on your dash that most people have literally never pressed on purpose. One mode pulls in air from outside the car. The other one, it's called recirculation. And it's the button with the little arrow curving around inside the outline of a car, takes the air that's already inside and recools it around and around in a loop. Now, here's the secret that makes all the difference. When you first get in and it's blazing hot, run the AC on fresh air for that first minute to flush the heat out, exactly like we just talked about. But the very moment that cabin starts to cool down, reach over and press that recirculation button. Why does this matter so much? Because now your air conditioner isn't fighting the hot outside air anymore. It's only re-chilling air that's already been cooled once. It's the exact difference between chilling a warm glass of water and chilling one that's already halfway cold. One takes real work and time, the other is quick and easy. Recirculation is the single biggest cooling boost hiding on your dashboard, and I promise you, most people drive their entire lives without ever using it correctly. Fresh air to flush the heat, recirculation to lock in the cold. In that order, every time. If those first 2 tricks alone already taught you something you didn't know, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It's genuinely how these videos reach more people who need them. And drop a comment telling me, did you already know about that recirculation button, or is this the very first time you're hearing about it? Be honest, I read every single comment and I'm always surprised how many people never knew. Now, trick number 3 is a small one, but it makes a shockingly big difference. Trick number 3, aim your vents up toward the roof, not straight at your face. I know, this feels completely wrong. When you're hot, every instinct you have says point that cold air right at your chest and blast it. But stick with me, because here's the physics. Cold air is heavier and denser than warm air, which means it naturally sinks and falls. So when you aim your vents up toward the ceiling, that cold air spreads out across the top of the cabin and then gently rains down over everything and everyone, cooling the whole car evenly, you included. But when you aim the vents straight at your body, You cool one little tunnel of air right in front of you while the rest of the cabin stays warm and stuffy, and the whole car actually takes longer to cool down. So point those vents up, let the cold fall like rain. The entire cabin gets comfortable faster and stays that way. And here's a bonus tucked inside this trick that doubles its power. Close the vents you're not using. Most cars let you shut individual vents with a little wheel or lever. If you're the only person in the car, close the passenger side vents and any rear ones. Now every bit of that cold air is concentrated exactly where you are instead of getting spread thin trying to cool an empty back seat. It's like the difference between watering your whole lawn and watering one plant. All the pressure goes where you actually need it. Trick number 4 is about winning the fight before it ever begins. Stop the heat from building up in the first place. Here's the logic. Every single degree of heat you keep out of that car is a degree your AC doesn't have to work to remove later. So when you park, take 2 seconds to think. Park in the shade whenever you possibly can under a tree, alongside a tall building, in a covered garage level. And if you're stuck parking out in the open with no shade anywhere, point the front of the car away from the sun so it's not spending all day cooking your dashboard, your steering wheel, and the whole front of the cabin. Then there's the cheapest, most underrated tool in this entire video, a folding windshield sunshade. It costs a few dollars, it lives in your car, and it can drop the temperature inside your parked vehicle by 20 or 30 degrees on a hot day. Think about what that means when you come back and get in. Your AC has a small fraction of the work to do because the heat never got a chance to build. Prevention is the trick nobody ever thinks about, and it's honestly one of the most powerful ones on this list. Now, trick number 5 works hand in hand with trick number 1, and it's a slick little upgrade. Crack a rear window for the first minute. When you're purging that first blast of hot air, don't just roll down the front windows, also crack a back window or a window on the opposite side of the car, an inch or two. Here's exactly why it works so well. You create a path, a channel for the air to flow all the way through the car instead of just swirling around near the front. Hot air pushes out one side while cooler air gets pulled in the other, and the whole cabin flushes itself out dramatically faster. It turns a 30-second heat purge into a 15-second one. It's a tiny adjustment that most people never think to make, and once you start doing it, you'll feel the difference the very first time. Quick pause here, because you're getting the really good stuff now, and I don't want you to miss the best one. Trick number 7, coming up in just a minute, is the professional secret weapon for a superheated car, the one that cools it twice as fast, and the one that almost nobody on the road has ever done. So stay with me, but first, trick number 6, because this is the one that quietly sabotages a whole lot of people's AC without them ever having the faintest idea. Trick number 6, make absolutely sure your cold air can actually reach you. You can do every other trick on this list flawlessly, but if your airflow is being strangled, you'll still end up disappointed and confused. And here's the good news. This one's free too. There are 2 hidden things that choke your AC down to a whisper. The first is your cabin air filter. It's a filter sitting right behind your glove box whose whole job is to clean the air flowing through your vents. And the truth is, most people have never changed it a single time in the life of the car. When it gets packed solid with years of leaves, dust, and grime, it chokes your airflow down to a trickle. So even though your system is making plenty of freezing cold air back there, only a weak little dribble of it actually reaches you. Pop it out and take a look. If it's gray and filthy, a fresh one costs 10 or 15 bucks and swaps in 2 minutes with no tools. The second airflow killer is your condenser, that flat radiator looking part sitting up front behind your grill. Its job is to dump the heat out of your AC system as you drive, but because it lives right up front, taking the full blast of the road, it gets caked over the years with bugs, leaves, and road grime, and once it's clogged, it can't shed heat properly. The telltale sign is AC that blows nice and cold while you're moving, but turns warm the second you're stopped in traffic. The fix is beautifully simple. A gentle rinse with a regular garden hose, not a pressure washer, which can bend the delicate fins, flushes all that gunk right out. Clean filter, clean condenser, and suddenly all that cold air you work so hard for actually makes it to your face at full strength. All right, you stuck with me and you earned it. Trick number 7, the professional's move for a car that's been sitting and roasting in the blazing sun, the one that cools it twice as fast, the one I promised you way back at the start. Here it is, and like everything else on this list, it costs absolutely nothing. You walk up to your oven hot car, first roll the driver's window all the way down. Now, and this is the key, do not get in yet. Walk around to the passenger side of the car, Grab that passenger door and swing it open and shut, 5 or 6 good times like you're fanning a campfire. What you are doing is turning that door into a pump. Every single time you swing it closed, it shoves a big wall of air across the entire cabin and forces all that trapped superheated air right out through the open driver's window on the other side. 10 seconds of fanning that door dumps an enormous amount of heat that would have taken your air conditioner several minutes of straining to remove. Then you get in, run the AC on fresh air with the fan cranked to high for about a minute, roll the windows up, and switch over to recirculation. Your car is completely cold in a fraction of the usual time. I've shown this door fanning trick to people who've been driving for 30 and 40 years, and every single one of them stares at me like I just pulled off a magic trick. But it's not magic at all. It's just simple physics, moving a big volume of air in and out fast. It works every time, and almost nobody does it because nobody ever taught them. Now somebody has, let me tie this whole thing together into the exact routine that gets you ice cold every single time so you actually remember it and use it. When you walk up to a hot car, crack the passenger door and fan it 5 or 6 times to dump the heat out. Get in, roll the windows down, turn the AC on fresh air with the fan on high, and drive for about a minute to flush out whatever heat is left. Then roll the windows up, press that recirculation button, aim your vents up toward the roof, and close any vents you don't need. Do exactly that, and your car will be genuinely cold before you're even out of the parking lot. And because you parked it smart in the first place in the shade, with a sunshade in the windshield, there was barely any heat to fight to begin with. That's the whole system, start to finish. Now here's the honest bottom line, because I will always give it to you straight. If you run through all 7 of these tricks and your AC still refuses to get genuinely properly cold, then you might have a real issue, most likely low refrigerant. And I need you to hear this part. Your AC system is sealed, so if it's low, that means you've got a leak. And the right fix is to have someone find that leak and repair it, not to keep dumping cheap recharge cans into it every few weeks. But here's the thing, for the vast majority of people whose AC just isn't as cold as it used to be, the system was never actually broken at all. They were simply fighting their air conditioner instead of working with it. These 7 tricks are you finally working with it the way the people who know cars do. So there you have it, 7 ways to make your car's AC blow twice as cold completely free starting on your very next drive. Purge the hot air first, fresh air, then recirculation. Aim the vents up and close the ones you don't need. Park smart and use a sunshade. Crack a rear window to flush the heat faster. Keep that cabin filter and condenser clean. And fan the door to dump the heat like the pros do. Not one of these costs you a single dime, and stacked together, they turn a warm, miserable, sweaty car into an ice cold one in under a minute while the driver in the next car over is still sitting there waiting. Before you go, hit that like button. If even one of these tricks was brand new to you, it genuinely helps this channel reach more drivers who are sweating in their cars right this second. And drop me 2 things down in the comments. First, try that door fanning trick on your next hot day, then come back and write twice as cold if you actually felt the difference. I truly love hearing that it worked for you. Second, tell me what you want next. Should I show you how to fix an AC that blows warm no matter what you do, or the musty, moldy AC smell and how to kill it in 5 minutes? You tell me and I'll make it. And subscribe, because I've got a whole garage full of these coming. The free tricks, the cheap fixes, and the honest truth the dealership will simply never tell you. Thanks for trusting me, and thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.